During their voyage to Australia, Captain James Cook and the botanist Sir Joseph Banks ran out of clean water and hydrated their crew on a brew made from a combination of molasses and turpentine. Coincidentally, I hear that the beer I'm reviewing this week bears an uncanny resemblance to Cook and Banks' original recipe. That's right, my friends. I give you VB, Victoria's most popular contribution to the carbonated wee-wee market. Over Christmas, I told some of my family members that I was going to be reviewing VB. These were their reactions. Ha! You think 4X Gold is bad? You're gonna be begging for a 4X after you drink VB. Why? VB stands for very bad. It's the only beer I won't drink. But how can we trust these 4X Gold swilling northerners to give us an unbiased opinion about VB? Well, it seems like the internet got together and voted that this beer sucks. The internet has spoken! Now I'm gonna drink this really fast to get it over and done with. Oh. It's so foul. It's way worse than 4X. I totally agree with everyone. It tastes like sucking on a rusty nail, which is maybe why it's so popular with tradies. It says drinkwise.org.au. I know how you should drink wise. You can avoid drinking VB. That would be a wise drinking decision. This grand poobah of disappointment began in 1854 when Thomas Aitken, founder and head brewer of VB, set out to design a beer to match Australia's climate. He achieved this masterfully, producing a beverage that is harsh, dry, and often unpleasant. Mwah! To its credit, the beer's advertising tagline, "A hardened thirst," does warn drinkers of the struggle ahead of them. Much like the sweaty, grizzled blue-collar workers in VB advertising, after drinking this beer, I feel filthy and hard done by. Victoria Bitter is fermented at 18 degrees Celsius. This higher than normal temperature causes a quick fermentation process and really goes to prove what your parents always told you about rushing to finish a job. In 2012, VB's mantle as Australia's best-selling beer was plucked away by a northern interloper by the name of 4X Gold. While I would usually celebrate VB being barreled over by the competition, the fact that 4X Gold hopped into the top position leaves a foul taste in my mouth, much like the beverages from these two breweries. Now, I would be amiss if I failed to mention VB's little brother, Melbourne Bitter, in this Victorian episode. Although generally accepted to be a nicer drop than VB, Melbourne Bitter promises a lingering, nasty taste, which increases with intensity over the course of its consumption. Melbourne Bitter was developed in 1936 by Jack Prendergast and sold to Carlton United Brewers in that year. The brewers describe Melbourne Bitter as robust, and it is probably no coincidence that your stomach lining has to be fairly robust to keep it down. MB is only for those with the most refined palates. As such, Carlton United Brewers recommends that this beer is best matched with sausage rolls and other savoury pastries. Despite being named after Victoria's capital city, Melbourne Bitter was quickly exported out of the city centre to regional areas, where more isolated folks accepted their lot and agreed to drink it. As generations have grown up drinking Melbourne Bitter, Victoria's regional population has genetically modified to enjoy MB and viciously attack anyone who besmirches its name. On an online forum, one young man in his 20s stated that he would
crawl over broken glass to get to one of these after a big day of shooting.
That's a bit dramatic. Another delightful young man named Troy Darby responded to criticisms of his favourite drop, thusly. You tool bag! Melbourne bitter's probably too much for your piss-weak taste buds, yuppie wanker! Well, with testimonials like that, how could I resist? The aftertaste. This is a very tricky beer. The first drink you drink, you're like, that's pretty nice. And then afterwards, it's like, that's how I get you. Don't drink this. Don't be tricked by the first sip. It's gross. It's gross after a while. Not as bad as VB, but at least VB's honest about how yucky it is. Well, Victoria must carry the heavy burden of being the progenitor of VB and MB. It is also the home of one of my favourite Australian beers, White Rabbit White Ale. Based on Belgian-style beer, this little gem is sweet, smooth and spicy. Call me a yuppie if you want, but this is one beer I do not have to drink ironically. Tune in next time when I review Foster's Australian Lager.